Smudge, who's sleeping here, and I welcome you to our little farm chat. You know, last Wednesday was the 50th anniversary of Earth Day, and I find it ironic that it occurred in the midst of the COVID pandemic that, on the one hand, has done tremendous harm to the economy and physical, mental, and spiritual health of our nation, but on the other hand, it has also caused pollution to diminish worldwide. The air is cleaner and the stars shine brighter because we are driving less and flying less, using less fossil fuels, and just staying put more than we used to. Not only that, but when we step back from the grief and loss many of us feel, we're learning that we have power when we work together. Though we will not overcome COVID through any fly-by-night, unproven remedies, we will by focusing on being thoughtful and intentional about the impact that we have on the well-being of one another. When it comes to COVID, we are learning that we, in fact, have the power to overcome it. Why? Because we have to, because our very lives depend on it. With Earth Day on my mind, I pray that we might similarly understand that climate change is a crisis that we also have the power to overcome by keeping pollution levels low and conservation initiatives high. Why? Because we have to, because our lives depend on it. And so these days I pray that we will unleash this newfound power and ensure clean air and clean water for everyone in the world. I pray for farmers who grow our food. I pray for sunlight and rain. I pray for animals and even insects. And yes, I pray for trees. You see, I'm a little bit partial to trees. We have a lot of them on our 24 acres. Joe cuts our firewood, ash, oak, the occasional birch tree. I myself am particularly partial to maple trees because we produce 8 to 10 gallons of maple syrup every year. I think the first sign of spring is when the sap begins to flow. You know, there may be a foot of snow on the ground and there may be heavy flurries in the forecast, but the maple trees seem to know before anyone or anything else that spring, with all its symbolism of rebirth and new life, is beginning. Trees are amazing. Did you know that forest trees communicate with each other through an amazing network of fungus and root connections? It appears that they can communicate their needs, and they even send each other nutrients via this network of latticed fungi buried in the soil. In a way, they talk to each other. They send warning signals about environmental change, and they even transfer their nutrients to neighboring plants before they die. The forest is this astounding cooperative system. And it all makes me wonder if that is nature's way, whether we as humans are meant to do the same, to be a cooperative system in order not to just survive, but to thrive as a forest can. Would we thrive if we shared more than hoarded? What if we created and expanded our own networks in order to care for one another in these trying times? What if we wore face masks and kept socially distant, less to protect ourselves and more to protect those around us? We have so much to learn from trees. And so I challenge you this week to take a walk and notice the trees. If you live down south, notice when the apple blossoms come. Notice when the maple trees leaf out. And remember the ways that trees seem to care for each other and consequently thrive because they are interconnected. I challenge you also to have some fun and pretend that you are a tree. Spread your arms and imagine that they are the branches bursting with lilac blooms. Wave them in the wind, noting that they bend and move, but when they're healthy, they do not break. Let your body be a firm trunk. Feel the blessed earth beneath your feet. connecting you to the ground, connecting you to our faithful God who nourishes us always. And may you be rooted in the hope for the future, sending out tendrils of comfort and love to those around you. Imagine then that you are a tree as you go in peace to that place which is special to you. Go and wave your arms in the wind. Don't break, but bend. Reach out your roots to encompass one another. Do that and know that you are blessed. In the name of our God, who is the Creator, God who is the Son, and God who is the everlasting Spirit. Amen and good night.